Good morning, everyone. How's the mic? We already have 20 plus people in here. Fantastic. Thirty-four people, 38 people, nearly 40 people. Fantastic. Hello, everyone. Bessie Funk, Double Mint Gum, Mike Ross, Frankie the Hall Monitor, of course, Popeye One S Simulacron. And Passport TV in good old Europe. 43 people. There's no reason to wait anymore. Let's get this one started.
Yeah, sure.
How are you, Andy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just relaxing and shit, as usual. Yeah.
I titled this show today Chaos in Ankara City, Injured and Seeking Legal Action with Andy OMAR. Andy OMAR, as you know, Mr. Ankara City himself, the Duke of Angeles, the Pope of Fields Avenue. And today we are going to talk about an expat vlogger based in the city of Angeles. He got in trouble.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's an American blogger, a Jewish guy, I believe, and we always mention things like that on at least on this channel. But I will not go deeper than that. We don't want to. We don't want to. We don't want to get a strike or something like that. And expat blogger, American blogger, based in Ankara City. He was getting into trouble apparently with a bar manager, bar owner, and his bouncers. And it ended in a physical altercation. And then there is a separate case with the same expat vlogger, but this time he got in trouble with a member of the tourist police in Ankara City, and that ended also in a physical altercation. And you guys might have seen the thumbnail of this live stream here. These are actually original pictures from the FB page of that individual. Public images, of course. But before we ask Andy about the details of this case in Ankara City, I would like to announce that we will do another live stream this coming Friday. And it's one of these live streams I refer to as a freestyle session. What's a freestyle session? Everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome to come on the panel. I do not really know what we are going to talk about, but I would like to address a few things regarding Frank, because Frank, as you know, came out with a live stream this morning. He was basically saying that the Foz was pleasuring himself in front of a cam on a Skype call with Warren H. And I believe that is complete BS. It's just another attempt to destroy the Foz, which I believe is that's impossible. And I hope that Michael, if you hear this, you're always welcome to get on the show on Friday. I believe you will be addressing the situation as well. And of course, I hope that we have the usual suspects on then. That includes crime family members such as Nico's experience and the one and only Popeye One, Mr. Subic Bay himself. But that will take place on this channel here on Friday, 9:30, 9:45 Philippine Standard Time. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are here talking about a very interesting case. And it was Andy Omar who actually informed me about this. And I thought, you know what? Let's do a show about this because it has all the ingredients for an interesting live stream. Expat vlogger, bar scene, bar girls, physical altercation, and all of this now resulted apparently in legal action because the man, the vlogger, the American guy, the expat guy is seeking legal action. But here you are, Andy. Let me ask
Hmm.
you,
Yeah.
what's happening in Ankara City? Chaos in Ankara City. Let's talk about the vlogger because I know some of you guys in the chat. Hello, by the way, to each and every one of you. You you might know who I am talking about. Some of you have commented over there on his channel. That's a vlogger. He's a expat. Can you tell me what kind of a guy is he? Who is that guy? Who is that vlogger? What do you know about him? And then talk about these two cases. The one where a member of the police, tourist police, was involved, and the bar manager. And I actually tried to reach out to the bar manager, but he did not see my FB messages to him. He was probably not even checking it. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but people are usually very reluctant. Andy Omar, you got the podium.
Yeah, definitely. That guy, Jungle Man, Space Cowboy, he's been in Angeles City for a short while now. It's probably been since the beginning of the year, 2023. He used to actually live in Dumaguete, so he he was living there for like a few years or something. He was living around Cebu, Dumaguete, and then he finally moved to Angeles City. So I guess he started, recording and shit, and he was making walking videos along Fields Avenue. A lot of walking videos. Like he wasn't even, like some people try to hide their camera. No, this dude is like wide in the open. Um, Also with like in plenty of Facebook groups like that, he tried to promote his channel, and a lot of them try to kick his ass out. He's a fucking weirdo. Like from what I hear from sources, the name is Jay Irwin. He's like a freaking what do you call it? They say he used to be an attorney back in the states. He's like a multimillionaire and all this shit, but he's actually turned into a schizo. So he has some money here and there, and that's how he got into the legal action. Well, what the thing is that there was this bar in Angeles City, and he was basically recording the guy, antagonizing the bouncer. He the guy is a weirdo. He likes just to record. Like somebody tells him stop recording me, and then he'll sit across the street and start recording. Like it's a fucking weirdo. So there was a few stories that happened with that guy. W- A lot of them are saying that he was recording and then he just got beat up by the bouncers in Angeles City because they didn't want their face to be shown on camera. The second one is that he had a girl there and he was trying to take her out, and supposedly they wanted to get the bar fine money back or whatever because he was always sneaking her out. So that's how there was a few stories there how he got beat up. So like if you see in the thumbnail, he got beat up to a bloody pulp. Supposedly he says he got stabbed or whatever. There was the third story, which is not really physically plausible, where Jay Irwin says that they tried to stab him, but if you see the pictures, it wasn't even a stab wound or nothing. It was more like a fork. So that was funny. Then yeah. So basically, after that, he got his ass beat up by all the bouncers, the staff in this one bar in Angeles City, and now he's seeking legal action. So basically, after doing the legal action, he's going for frustrated homicide, which here they call it, which is basically attempted murder, but in the Philippines they call it frustrated homicide. So yeah, and then he's a psycho. So what he's doing is he's fucking with the bars, which eventually is a big no-no, especially if one of the owners there, has some big pool in Angeles City. So he's really trying to antagonize bars and bar owners. That's one. Two, he is actually, since he's like a crazy schizo and he was an ex-attorney, he's actually paying off every every step of the process. He's paying off the police in order to prosecute it so they can write shit. He's paying off the courts so they can write shit. He writes stuff for his lawyer so they can write shit. So they he really wants to take this guy down, and he has the money for it. But it's kind of insane. I mean, the guy's a total fucking weirdo if you look at his channel. I don't know if you can pull it up, Aloe, but yeah, the dude's a fucking weirdo. On the second one, on the second attempt, I mean, on the second attack, I guess it was a tourist police. He's recording, and then he got his ass beat up. So he got billy clubbed until yeah, till Kingdom Come, and that's how you see the pictures all the fucking bruises and shit that is happening. So this is just a guy that goes on and records fucking little schizo, and yeah, it's just a cycle that likes to antagonize little bars in there, and I just find it kind of interesting how eventually, guys like that they would end up dead, like dead men walking, but he doesn't give a fuck. Like from what I hear from his friends, like the guy is actually suicidal. He don't care. He's out there recording these girls. He does a spaceman. Yeah, what is it? Jungleman, Space Cowboy. I don't know if you guys can pull it up. Also, what he does is mainly records all these girls, all these women, um, without their consent, kind of, pretty much. Even there was a time where he was with a ladyboy, and I don't know. You seen the video, right, Alo? Like he's
I have seen the video. I have seen the video, and I think Philly was also making a comment about it. It's only the people who actually saw the video, but I think uh, Philly was actually also talking about that clip because it was going around. People are sending it out to different members of the community, and I must say. The ladyboy had a very pretty ass. In my opinion, I wouldn't mind.
Jesus.
I mean, if you guys would have seen the video, I mean, 90% of you guys would agree to that. I mean, not that I make a big deal out of the gender of if it's a lady or a boy or a ladyboy, in my case. But the thing is, you would have seen the ass and you would say, "Wow, that's beautiful." Oh my god! And then it would zoom in on his cock, which is also something that I would not say no
Yeah.
to. But that's just me. But look,
Jesus.
tell me, tell me, what do you think is the reason behind this? Is he trying to profit from the sleazy part of Ankara City, walking street? Is he trying to become a big vlogger? Because obviously he doesn't need the money. Based on
Yeah.
what we know about him, the guy has money. And I also saw on his FB account, the FB channel, that he is looking for a housemaid. And I found it rather strange because it looks like as
This
if
is
it's a
pickup.
legit um, advertisement. But the
Yeah.
ladies who are replying to it, when you when you click on their profile,
Hmm.
you know exactly what's going down here. What's happening here. I mean, it's probably a housemaid with, let's put it this way, with benefits, right? You saw
Yeah.
that as well, right?
That's his little pickup thing, his little modus apparatus thing. Like that's what he does. Yaya for hire, and he posts every day. Like if you look at his profile now, it's every day. Yaya for hire must be pretty.
I was just surprised by the fact that this guy has not been involved in one incident only, but in two incidents. And I
Hmm.
think uh, that's kind of, that's a pattern there. In a
Yeah,
rather
definitely.
short period of time, he gets involved in two incidents. And apparently, the guy who caused these injuries that you saw on the thumbnail earlier,
Mhm.
is a member of the tourist police. What do we know about that? Because he was looking for information about the police or the tourist police itself. I believe he posted something along the lines of, I'm looking for information regarding this person. Is it true that police is going around with sticks and beating up people? Something like that. It sounded like a rant to me.
Yeah. That's basically what he does. He always posting it on Facebook. He doesn't give a fuck. Like even if it's the PNP themselves, part of the PNP, he just doesn't care. Like I'm saying, he's like probably some suicidal dude. That's he's trying to live out his days or something's going on, but you could tell that's not normal behavior when you're trying to antagonize authority.
I actually saw I took a closer look at the profile of the bar owner, and I believe his family is running that bar, and I think it's a bar in the sleazy part of Angela City. Is that correct, Andy?
Yeah.
I saw the guy, and I must say, it's not a guy to mess with, because this is the problem here. Generally in the Philippines, and particularly for Angeles City, those businesses, especially in the red light district, are run by people who are not, how should I say, these people behind it are not nobodies, because you need some backing, you need some protection, and you need to know people
Mhm.
in the province of Pampanga. And if you, let's put it this way, if you fuck with them, then that's never a good idea. You remember the owner of the Louis Grand Hotel, that
Yeah.
case, where a
Mhm.
young Filipino American with a degree from the University of California in industrial engineering goes to the Philippines, successful guy, good looking kid, opens bars and hotels and stuff like that in Angela City, and then disappears. There's no investigation. The US Embassy, him being a US citizen, does not really comment on the case. And this has been a story that has been talked about for, I don't know, 6, 7 years now.
Oh yeah.
I think the guy's name is Kasich or something like that. I don't remember the exact name, but I believe his brother is still running some of the higher, some of the high end clubs in Fields.
Mhm.
Um, and rumor has it, and now I have to be very careful. Rumor has it that he was about to meet with one of the most powerful men in the province, and after that, disappeared. They never found his body, and they do not know what happened, and there was never really an investigation. And
A lot of guys disappeared. Not just him, but there's plenty of guys that I've known that I've not really known, but known through other people, and they would just disappear.
yeah,
They would just get kicked out of the country. Not really kicked out, but threatened. Like they tell them to start to open a bar or something, and all of a sudden, they tell them to fuck off. And if we see
mm,
you in Philippines again, we're gonna kill you or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, it
especially
happens.
when it cuts into their fucking business. Especially if it cuts into their business, or they somehow fail to pay off certain people. It's a
This,
machinery. It's a fucking money machine.
uh,
And
I,
if
I
you fuck with the wrong people, you could get in a lot of trouble. I
this
was
is
one
yeah. Go.
time I was one time buying my fucking Euro daily food at H&W Delicatessa. That's in Koreatown. That was a couple of years ago. And I would
Hmm.
get my salami, and I was munching my sandwich. And then I saw a few hundred meters down the road, the cops and people were standing around a building. And I would ask one of the police who would walk up there, so what happened? And then he told me a Korean guy got shot. And so I was like looking at him and munching my sandwich. A Korean guy, okay? Uh, do you know who the suspects are? And then they said it's another Korean guy who just came into the office and fucking shot him. And this
Oh
is in
shit.
fucking broad daylight. And this happened just like, I do not know, like, I believe like 6 or 7 years ago. And that's the shit that's happening in Angeles City. And again, the Louis Grand Hotel case, if you guys are into crime and mystery and all that kind of shit, read up on it because it's a fucking great story. It's kind of like a fucking it's a real life crime story. The guy poof just disappears. And there are 100,000 theories uh
Yeah.
of what has happened to him. You guys might remember that I had Jerry Rizzo on the show last year. Jerry Rizzo is a guy who has been part of the community for a very long time. Jerry Rizzo is not active anymore. He's an Australian guy. He has been part of the original Peter Vandever hunting club. Let's put it this way: the Alliance, I believe they called it. And Jerry Rizzo actually knew the guy because he was always hanging out at his own hotel in Angeles City. He was always sitting at the bar, chill guy. And I believe Louis Grand Hotel is probably not even operating anymore. Is that correct, Andy?
I really have no idea. They were doing some party stuff, but after COVID, yeah, it's not really operating.
Okay. Let's get back to the guy who is now seeking legal action and is also updating his subs about this case. What do you think might happen to him?
I
Let's
think
just
he's gonna.
speculate a bit.
One thing. Um, wait, hold on a second. Late. All right, cool. I just think what's gonna happen is that he's going to have a really bad time. Eventually, he'll probably disappear. He'll probably, get fucked over somehow. He'll get planted something, arrested for something, maybe kids. That's the usual, thing. Like it's always some type of entrapment that's gonna happen. That's one. But two is that he might, in the very slim chance, he might actually save himself, and he might actually, since he's paying off all these people, he might actually, you know succeed in prosecuting this dude. But in the long run, he has to watch out for himself, his friends, family. Like the guy wanted to meet me before. He wanted to say let's hang out in fields, everything. But at the end of the day, why would I? That's a dead man walking. I would never hang out with him, even though he likes my channel and everything. And I think he's an okay guy for the most part. But no, that's the type of guy that you wouldn't want to hang out with around Fields Avenue.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Look, this is what I always propagate and always tell people. If you get into legal trouble in the Philippines and you still have this Western concept of seeking justice in mind, because you were wronged, especially people who are seeking legal action against other vloggers. Always ask yourself, what do you think happens afterwards? And when I say afterwards, what do you think happens after you succeeded in getting somebody behind bars? You're basically destroying that person's life. And of course, that's what you want. That's your goal. You
He's
seek revenge.
intentionally doing it. Yeah, true. Intentionally doing that.
But the
Can you
problem
excuse me
then
for five
is,
minutes? Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
please. And then you need to ask yourself, what happens then? What happens after that? Do you really believe that you can just move on and live a happy life happily ever after you put somebody in jail? I mean, we have these cases in our community. The case against Michael Fazio. Fazio's case against Pignos. It's the other way around. We have the case. Frank versus Bama regarding the cyber libel. And since Bama isn't a citizen and basically a lightweight, there will be not many repercussions for Frank regarding Bama's case, I believe. But imagine you would do that to a guy, not a nobody, somebody like this bar owner. And I don't want to name him because this is a very sensitive subject matter right now. There's an ongoing legal case. But again, I checked out his FB page and he really looks the part. And based on his pictures, he has connections in the province of Pampanga. And so you have to ask yourself, as a foreigner, as an expat, as a tourist, do I really want to seek legal action against somebody who then might send out his fucking bouncers or relatives or friends or business partners? Because you will never again walk down that area in fields and feel safe unless you are a nut job or something like that. And as Andy mentioned earlier, he said that that guy, the vlogger, the expat guy, might be even suicidal or mentally ill. Well, I think a lot of these guys are actually not all there. We have different cases in our community. You all remember Peter Vandever, and you all remember uh, other guys, their demeanor online, on cam, Pignose, for instance. We have others, such as Frank. He's absolutely not all there. So often it's a mental health issue that these people are dealing with. And I'm not just talking about people who are, you know, depressed or have bad dreams or something. I'm talking about real nutjobs who can't let shit go. And we all know about these guys, about their criminal background. We have 90 people, ladies and gentlemen, watching right now. That's a fucking new record. Let me just write that down. 90 people earlier, and we always hover around 85 now. Even the last shows were really great. I would like to, until Andy comes back, I would like to ask him a few more questions about that case.
I'm
But
back.
I would like to, yeah, I would like to ask you, Andy.
Sure.
It somehow surprises me that this
Hmm.
is the first time that we talk about something like this, because Angeles City, especially Fields Avenue, the sleazy part of the city, um,
Hmm.
it must attract all kinds of fucking misfits. And so it surprises me somehow that this is the first time that somebody seems to get in trouble and we know about it. Uh, there must be dozens of people who walk up and down Fields Avenue, zooming in on these ladies there, on these ladies of the night. Can you tell us a little bit more? Is it just because you have boots on the ground? Is it really the first time, or does that happen all the time? Is there somehow like a written or an unwritten law in that part of the city that you do not take footage of what happens inside these bars?
Yeah, you don't at all. Like, that's what I'm wondering how some are still doing it. A lot of them don't even show their face, or like I said before, a lot of them they have a discreet camera, or they really hide it in order for them, so other people cannot see. Some even have those lens cameras and all that shit. They try to go all technical, but it's not the first time that these guys get in trouble. There's a lot, and they get fined for it, or they get kicked out, they get banned. But still, people come thinking like, hey, I want to be the next fucking blogger. I want to be, the next fucking Philly in the Philippines. I want to record in Fields. I want to record in Fields Avenue, every day, and you know and yeah, and then all of a sudden, they get into some crazy shit. They get fucked up, literally get fucked up for it, or even their life, or even messing
Do
with the
you
wrong girl and everything.
Do you remember that sidekick of Says Style? It was a Filipino guy. He was often on the Field Path radio live streams years ago. And that guy, I do not remember his name, Filipino guy based in the Angeles City area. And he would do things like that. His channel was about uh, hidden footage of the bar scene in Angeles City. And
Mm,
the Angeles bar owners tried to find out who he was because it basically destroys their business model, because the bar owners, of course, want you to go into these bars and pay a lot of money for the drinks and
hmm.
whatever other services they offer. But that guy was basically shooting clips inside those bars and he got in trouble for it. He then disappeared.
Were you talking about the
Oni, Oni,
like
Oni
Asian also?
Artiga. Oni Artiaga is the name. And now I remember.
Oh,
I remember Oni Artiaga, something like that.
I thought Modena. No, that's the other guy. Well, I had no idea. Like I told you, I didn't really watch Zess's channel, so I didn't really know.
Do you think that the guy in
But it
question
happens.
here,
Hmm.
yeah, do you think the guy in question who took footage inside the bar, I also saw that there were screenshots where people explained what actually went down. Somebody said that he was taking footage, and after people told him, do not do that, we don't want that, we don't want to be on your clips, he
Hmm.
then disregarded it and just continued to take footage. And that's when the altercation happened, the physical altercation.
Oh, big time. Who another big YouTuber who got fucked up for it? Det Farang. I don't know if you guys know his channel. He's always
Yeah, the famous
going.
guy.
Yeah, yeah, Angeles City. But the thing is that he got caught in Angeles doing that shit, and then he
What
got kicked
happened?
out.
Do you know what happened?
No, they just something must have happened. But then he stopped his videos. They kicked him out. He could never come back. And yeah, he got a pretty stern warning. I don't know if it's a warning or they did something to him. I have no idea. But the thing is that he is never coming back to Angeles, and that's the thing that people don't understand, that shit like that happens. It's a small town.
I remember that Says Style did, he created a site. It's called Find It Angeles. It's kind of like a advertisement driven platform, where you can buy and sell stuff, or if you need information, you rent out places, houses, apartments. Says Style was behind that site, and a couple of his friends. And Find It Angeles, it was a big topic a couple of years ago. And Says Style once told me that somebody left a negative review about the business establishment in Angeles City. And the
Hmm.
owner of that business establishment then sent out people to basically, quote unquote, invite Says over to their office to tell him that they are not very pleased about the rather negative um, reviews. And Seth got the message. He told me about that years ago, and he insinuated that it would have had very, very negative consequences for him and the people behind that site if he would not change that review. And that
Mm.
kind of shit, that kind of shit happens um, probably all over the Philippines, but it happens often in Angeles City because it actually attracts a very unique type of tourist, let's put it this way, and businessmen. And look, I heard that it's often Koreans now taking over the city, and those Koreans are not your everyday Korean who want to sell you some mandu and these rice pots. whatever it's called. But these Koreans are, yeah, let's put it this way, underworld figures, and they basically use this business establishment for money laundering. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How has Angeles changed in the last few years? And is it true that there are increasingly more Korean establishments and not always the good guys? Shady background, often with criminal background.
I think almost anybody that does a bar or anything, it has some sort of shady background, whether it's directly or indirectly. Either you're doing shit or you're with somebody doing that shit. Like that's an honest opinion. And I got many friends that, yeah, they own bars and some manage bars and all that, but at the same time, they're either with it indirectly or directly. But the thing is with these people, mostly the Korean dudes, I think for me, I'll just say fuck it, let them have it. I for me, I don't really mind it at all. I think like they bring better quality in lineups than what a freaking Western bar. I don't know why, but American owned bars, like their taste in women, their taste in, it's like they just like single mothers and shit. They compared to the other ones. Like if you go to Korean bars, yeah, you go to Korean bars, and these are people who are not.
Did you notice that some of the other business establishments who actually have nothing to do with the sleazy part of the town are also run by Koreans? And I'm talking about restaurants and coffee shops.
Yeah, and some of them are good. I actually like it. Some of them
Which
are
ones
great
do you
coffee
which
shops.
ones do you like? Which ones do you like? Are you familiar with Cafe Lala, the big place?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's okay.
People people line up there for the baguettes and the croissants. And I will be coming out with probably one or two blogs about that place. It is said to be the biggest cafe in all of the Philippines, and that place is
It
fully
is big.
packed all the time. And it's huge. It's basically a former warehouse, and especially in the evening hours and on the weekends it's fully packed, because I noticed that when I was waiting for my baguettes, I saw in the bakery that a couple of Koreans were chewing on a sandwich or on a croissant, and then they would talk about probably the quality
Hmm.
and something like that, to improve the service and stuff like that. But these guys have money, and right across of it there is a new place called Kmart. So definitely lots of Koreans coming to Angela City, taking over the business, but also starting new businesses. And in my opinion, it is not really negative, I must say. I
I,
mean,
I
of course,
I
the
like
easy
it.
part, yes, but the other part, what do you think?
For me, I like it. I like the variety of foods that they bring out. Chinese, Korean, like even some Italian stuff. Like, yeah, and it's nice, like you said, croissants, baguettes. Where the fuck are you gonna find that in an American place? You're not really gonna find that shit. Um, what are you gonna find in an American restaurant? Like, for example, the BFW. I mean, for me, that place is fucking shitty as fuck. You got what? Fried chicken, burger, sandwich. That's it. And then a few local dishes here and there, and that's it. It, it, there's really no variety, compared to the other places. And the thing is that there's a lot of competitions among these Koreans which I
Yeah.
think it's good.
It's good
And
for the customers. It's good for the people who
yeah,
visit that area. Speaking of Vietnam, because somebody mentioned Vietnam, and the first thing that comes to my mind is the food. There is a good place along, I believe, Friendship near Koreatown called Ha Long Bay, and maybe I will come out with the vlog once. It's a good place because it serves authentic Vietnamese food, and the place is actually run by a Vietnamese lady. And that somehow surprised me because when I was eating there, I heard people speak in Vietnamese. And, these kind of restaurants and businesses are popping up all over the Philippines, even in Metro Manila, in certain places in Metro Manila,
Hmm.
Manila Bay, lots of Chinese, but also in Angeles City. And that actually really surprised me. So, look, people often think Angeles City is just that sleazy sin city full of hookers and sexpats and drunkards and criminals. But that is actually not the case. It is really confined in a very small part of the city known as Fields Avenue. But the rest of the city is just like every other Philippine town, mid sized city, just like. When you go down south, San Fernando, when you go up north, Baguio, other places, and it has a very good infrastructure. You can take SC Tex, go to Subic, you go up north, or you go down south to Manila. What can you say about that before we go over to the next topic?
For me, that's the thing that I really do like it. It's I say out of all the places that I've been, because I've been everywhere, Cebu, Mindanao, like Puerto Galera, Puerto Princesa, and all that shit. I've been almost everywhere, right? And the one place that I cannot really move away from is here in Angeles City because it has everything: great restaurants, good shopping
Hmm.
centers, like you said,
Hmm.
good infrastructure,
Yep.
everything that you want to get, electronics or whatever, everything's already here. A lot of
Yep.
factories are already here. They got an airport. Yeah, they got everything.
Everything is there. The roads, the airport, the
Hmm.
infrastructure, also the malls. Lots of
Yeah.
malls, big malls, for a city of that size, and the roads are good. And every now and then I pass by, stop over in Angeles City. I have property there as well, and I think it is a very good place. A couple of weeks ago, I took that road going down to Porac, and I believe Mega World or Ayala is building a new central business district over there. They are
Hmm.
moving parts of the national government to that place, and I see some of the famous universities in the Metro Manila area are setting up shop also in that part of the country. So Angeles City, Pampanga, very bad reputation for some, but if you really know the place, it has a lot going for it. And in my opinion, outside of Metro Manila and Baguio, it is clearly among the top 5 places to live in the Philippines. And outside of Luzon, I would say there are only maybe 2 or 3 other places that actually can compete with it if you compare city to city, and that's probably Cebu, and maybe in Mindanao, I must say it would be probably Davao, the metro region of Davao. There are a lot of nice, good places. Don't get me wrong, Philippines is a beautiful country, but if you wanna go to the mall, watch a movie at the weekends, you want that daily food restaurants, you want the infrastructure. Sometimes you want to take a plane and just hop over to another island. Angeles City is a place that you should look at. Since we are talking about Angeles City, of course, I would like to talk a little bit about what has been taking place here on the channel and other channels, the drama around ETP, expat
Uh huh.
trash in the Philippines and Philly. So we talked about this yesterday. Issues and topics were freedom of speech, AI, censorship, copyright,
Yeah. I
and
wonder
we
if they're gonna
tackled
meet up
all these
one day.
issues.
Because they're
Sorry,
both in the same area. I wonder if they're gonna meet up. They're both in the same area, right? So I'm just wondering if they probably it's probably somebody that knows him personally, that has something with against him. That would be my.
Philippine. That would be your guess. Let's
Hmm.
talk a little bit about it. What's your take on Philly's content, and what's your take on ETP's reaction to it, because Philly basically says this is absolutely okay because it's legal, and ETP is basically a troll channel because they are stealing his content.
Um, that's the thing that he does a variety of videos and he stretches himself thin. But the thing is that Expat Trash, he points only at one certain thing, and sadly, he's not wrong. EPT is not wrong when it comes to that. It's pointing out the truth that it's one portion of his videos, yeah, but he's not wrong regardless. It's like I it's like him saying I like the color purple, and all of a sudden, I have a blue bag and a yellow shirt, but then all you focus is on the purple. It's still gonna be true, right? It cannot be false. So, sadly enough, yeah.
Let's talk about another vlogger, in this case, a vlogging couple that is based in Mabalacat, I believe.
Oh,
They go by the name Philippines Antiques. Are you familiar with the channel? And the reason
oh
why I
yeah.
bring that up, and I would like also the guys in the chat to make a comment. Where do you stand on? I mean, what's your take on them? Because yesterday, just before I started my live stream, some guys came over, left me a message on FB, and told me that Philippines Antiques was talking about you, Alo, and they're bashing you. They're talking smack about you. So I went over there, said hello,
Hmm.
and later, after my live stream, I went over there again and I listened to almost the whole show. And
Yep.
I must say, of course, they had a very rather, let's say, negative view about me and ETP and the lawsuit ETP has been talking about. But I
Lawsuit.
wouldn't go as far as saying that they somehow offended me or bashed me. They were probably influenced by certain people in the background who told them that I
Yeah.
am the devil. Okay, Ala the Winter means the devil is coming to your channel is no good, and he comes with his sidekick Popeye, which is another terrible person. And so I understood. Okay, if you guys want to talk, if you want to do a collab, like do a live stream about this, since you guys talk about me and the content of my channel or my role on here in the community, then we can do that. And they turned that offer down. So that's not a big deal. But look, I would like to ask you, what do you think about these guys? Because I thought it's an interesting format. It's like a couple. She is a white American lady, and he is a Filipino American. They're a Phil-Am couple, and they do these live streams quite regularly.
Hmm.
I am not familiar with the content of their channel, but it has been brought to my attention a couple of months ago because it was
Yeah.
actually Philly himself who told me about this. And
Whoa.
this is what happens. This is what happened. Philly came out with a vlog
Hmm.
called Expat threatened my 4 foot 1100 pounds Filipino wife, something along the lines of that. And of course, that caught my interest because it's drama, it's a sexy topic. So I reached out to him because people know that Philly and I we sometimes talk, and I want to put this out there. Philly is not, because people always say that Philly was Alo's friend and Alo backstabbed him. No, Philly is not my friend. Philly is a guy that I sometimes talk to, okay? I talk to a lot of people on and offline. On and offline. And I would not define or look at this as a friendship. And he knows that. We have been talking for many years now about all kinds of topics, not regularly, but every now and then. And so I came to him and left him a message and said, "Hey, Philly, who is threatening you?" And then he
Mhm.
was a little bit reluctant to tell me because he tries to keep things as diplomatic as possible. And then he said, since you do not know these guys and you are not involved with these guys and stuff like that, since you are a neutral guy when it comes to this particular case, it's um Heidi from
Really?
Philippines Antiques. And actually, Heidi,
Really?
the lady on Philippine Antiques, admitted that in her live stream that she and Philly had some sort of falling out a couple of months ago, but it seems that they were able to resolve their issue, whatever it was. But Philly, and I watched that blog yesterday again, Philly was
Mhm.
actually really saying that his wife was physically threatened
Jesus
and
Christ. And she's a
by
big bitch. Damn.
by her. And so that's what I know about her. And then there's somebody else, and and this is just a commentary, by the way. But I'm not here to bash them
Mhm.
because I really do not have a reason for to do that. But somebody else came to me. Actually, a couple of guys came to me and said, "Look, they are known in the community as a couple who."
Huh?
Let's put it this way: they wouldn't say no if you would contribute to their channel. They wouldn't say no if you would help them out a little bit. Okay. So I'm trying to be as diplomatic and as nice as I can. And I would like to ask you guys in the chat, what's your take on them? And of course, you, Andy, as an active member of our beloved Philippines YouTube community and as an uncle, as expat, A, are you familiar with their content? B, what do you think about them? And by the way, Popeye, since Friday will be a freestyle session, I would like you to come on the panel as well, because I remember you and I emailed and talked a little bit about that. I sent you the timestamps about that live stream, 1 hour and 2 minutes when the fairy came on and talked a little bit about about how he sees us. We can take a closer look at all of that on the Friday show. But Andy,
Mhm.
again, what's your take on them? What do you think about them?
Well, for me, I met him in person. That one time with Philly, I was with Ace Bachelor Cool then and Mike in the Philippines. We were in Angeles City, of course, watching some girls in bikinis. Then she comes up, you know, and I was like, damn, that's a big bitch. I saw her and she's like 400, 500 pounds. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, she was huge. Like,
Were you scared? Were you scared?
I was scared. I thought she was gonna eat me. And then, no, she's really big. I'm not trying to, I'm just being truthful, right? She was big. Like, sh- she was,
Being truthful is right up our alley. Please go ahead.
yeah, she was huge, like 400 pounds or something like that. And she would take like a whole couch. So yeah, I don't know how that guy has sex with her, honestly, but he probably puts the flour on it so he can check for the wet spot.
I look. I got I got I got Bobsy. I got Bobsy in the chat, and I told him, "Hey, Bobsy, what's your take on this?" Because I remember you told me about this couple, right? Because I never really felt like I want to watch anything there because I think it's not for me, and it's probably not for most of my subs because they defined my subs as those are the guys who are into you know the darker stuff. It's a dark channel. That's how they refer to my channel, and I think I like that. It's like wow, out of the winter, the dark channel. But Bobsy told me that the guy did this really cracked me up. Not to bash the guy or something like, but Bobsy told me that the guy on there, I think his name is George, reminds him of a milkfish. He told me,
Oh,
isn't it the guy who looks like a bit like a milkfish? The guy has a face like a milkfish, and that just really cracked me up. And
bro.
now you tell me that about the lady. I think her name is Heidi, right? And
But
I like them. I'm from Switzerland. I like Heidi. I like I like
I'm not
Heidi.
trying to insult. I'm just describing, the size and all. I was just describing in awe what it was my first impression. I'm not trying to bash it at all. Yeah, I'm just being truthful about that. Um, but yeah, that's the first time I hear that she actually tried to physically threaten. Who was it? His wife,
Philly.
Billy's wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
there's no, everybody knows about it. And it
She could beat
surprised
up
me
Billy.
because I actually did not know, I didn't know nothing about that couple. It surprised me because it's very unusual that a white woman um,
Hmm.
is based in the Philippines. I mean, of course there are, and but usually it's a guy girl combo and not a girl guy. As far as
Yeah.
ethnicity is concerned, usually it's a white guy with a Filipino, and in this case it's a white lady with a Filipino American guy. But look, I must say, back then when I looked at the channel, I felt like I won't even click on any of these vlogs because this is not the kind of content I would like to um, watch. But when I saw, and I must say, when I saw that live stream yesterday, I must say, oh, they make a lot of sense. They're good at what they do. It was a very interesting, entertaining live stream. And again, the format is definitely a very interesting one because it's a couple. I saw a guy
Hmm.
in here who commented, and I would like to read it out loud. Let me just scroll up. I believe it was my good friend Maximus. And Maximus says, she wears the pants in that marriage. She went off on him the other day and called her husband a loser while doing a live. It was funny as hell. She
Oh,
told him that he is lucky that she did not kill him. Did anybody else see this? Was this meant as a joke, or did she really go off on him? Kind of like the way Frank goes off on his gill dog. Is
I
that
would be
what
afraid.
happened, or
I
was
would
it?
be afraid if I was a husband. She's big, dude. Like really, like she could take you. Like she's big, huge. And
Well, she's
also,
like a
also
white,
like, also
she's
like with
basically like
Philly,
a
like
white
if
Samoan
she,
lady.
if she threatened, Philly's girl or whatever,
Yeah,
and I bet you Philly couldn't even take her. He couldn't even take her. Like it's
I
how
think,
big she is.
I think she has the physical ability to pick up Philly and just throw him over a fence,
Yeah.
over a 6 foot fence, or basically just use Philly as a side dish to whatever she eats, right? It's kind of okay. I'm preparing a Caesar salad, and I will take a little bit of Philly and throw it into the salad in a huge fucking bowl and just rah, and eats it. It's 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 kind of scary, but I must say I like them. I know they do not like me. I hope they will not get offended because look, that's what they said yesterday. It's just a commentary, and we are not bashing out of the winter. And so I reciprocate and say this here is not about bashing you guys over there on Philippines Antiques. This is just a commentary.
Yeah, they're just getting into the. I guess they're getting into the spectrum, into the troll side of things more nowadays. Because before their channel used to be just regular things, right? Kind of like Philly, he always talk about regular things. Now on his Sunday shows, he has, you know, trolls and people, questionable people who come over. Now, I guess that's what they're trying to do with yeah, with their channel. They're just inviting everybody over, like Jerry, for example, and all that. I don't even know what he really has against you, the Jerry guy. He's always he goes to every goddamn channel and talks about you. I'm like, damn. I mean, I hate certain people, but I don't go to every channel and talk about them. Like shit.
Are you talking about Jerry the Fairy, or
Hmm.
who's Jerry?
Yeah,
Jerry
yeah.
Kudanian. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I saw that part, and it came in at 1 hour and 2 minutes. I know because people told me, and I thought it's how should I say? Yeah, he doesn't like us, but Jerry the Fairy's not a bad guy, he just hangs out with the wrong people. The funny thing is, he thinks that we are the bad guys. Speaking of Jerry the Fairy, I know that we talked about this yesterday a little bit, and the funniest part was when Jerry Kudanian, and I know, Jerry, you're somewhere out there because we have 90 plus people, and one of them must be you, right? One of them must be you. Look, Jerry said, and Popeye, I know that you listened to that too because I told you about it. Jerry said, these guys are just like a gang. And I tried hard to get out of this gang.
He's trying to get up the
And
life.
I was like wondering, what the fuck are you drinking today? It's early morning, or are you drinking Tanduay or Ginebra San Miguel or something like that, or just a Coke with a little bit whiskey in it because you must have completely lost your mind. They are just like a gang, and I tried so hard to get out of it. Gentlemen, this is the difference between maybe the Philippine antiques people and our guys. We usually judge people based on our own interaction with them. Because I was looking at Heidi's face when she heard Jerry's statement about me and Popeye. And she was like, oh my God, these must be terrible and very sick people over there. And I was like, wow. It was like, here we go again. It's like Popeye one, Mr. Subig, evil, evil, evil. All of the winter, evil, 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 evil people. And then I felt like, okay, I will leave a message. If you guys really want to know, at least give us a chance to explain ourselves. And they said, we are moving on to other topics. And I wondered, what other topics are there? I mean, fair enough. Okay, you do whatever you want to do on your channel. But what other topics are there? ETP, Philly in the Philippines, the
Yeah.
sleazy part of Angeles City, especially for you guys who are actually based in Angeles City. That's a hot topic. That's what everybody wants to talk about. Or why do you explain to yourself that the micro channel just as mine gets 90 people right now? I'm mighty proud of that. And these guys have like how many people?
Like
So
40, 45. Yeah, like not even.
so think about that. If you're looking for views and about and content for a good discussion, that's the way to go. But I know. The people who warn you in the background, these people are no good. Well, that's based on hearsay. Because again, you never talked to me directly, and you never had Popeye on your show, but you had Philippines and beyond Jerry on the show, basically trying to destroy our reputation out of pure fucking hate. Jerry, out of pure fucking hate. Now, I saw somebody in the chat who said it's not cool to make fun of disabled people. I don't really know what you
Disabled?
mean by
Who's
that. You're
disabled?
talking about, huh? Is he
Who's
talking? Are you
disabled?
talking about? Yeah, you're talking about Jerry because he doesn't have a brain, or what do you mean by that? Or I don't really know who you refer to. But somebody said you at least should have um given them the opportunity to come on the show. And yes, I did that on their channel. And by the way, I threw out the link there. Everybody is always welcome to get on the panel. That's a given, at least on this channel. I have no problem with that. Especially, ladies and gentlemen, if you are from the other side. And we have Popeye 1 here. Popeye, please let me introduce you to Andy Omar. Andy Omar, this is Popeye.
What's up?
Oh, I am privileged to be on here with Andy Omar. I'm telling you, I've been looking forward to this day, man. This
Hmm.
is just such a great honor. You lie down. Go ahead. Go lie down like a good boy. And I really appreciate you letting me come on here, Aloe. I mean, Jesus Christ, over 80 people. listening. Um, so, Andy, I got a question for you, buddy.
What's
I
up?
think you're going to like this question. Do you want to get jumped in?
No.
Now, once you're in, you're in. If you want to get out, you got to get jumped out also. And trust me, the process of getting jumped out is fucking brutal. Just ask the racist fairy. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a gang. Oh, that's hilarious.
I would like to ask you, Popeye, since you were also a topic on that Philippines Antiques show, what's your take on it? Since you came up here, always welcome, of course, and everybody else in the chat, if you want to say your piece, you're always welcome to get up here. I see Sexpat Hunter also says Heidi abuses her husband George on live streams. And again, I'm not familiar with the content of their channel, but it seems to me that they are pretty even, when it comes to running the show. And it seems that they are not stupid or something like that. Because when I saw the thumbnails, I thought, okay, who are these fucking retards? That was my honest opinion, okay? When people came to me and say, who are these fucking retards? If I would listen to this, I would probably hear things like, and
Oh, dude, I already told you.
things like that. But the thing is, when I actually listen to the live streams, that the woman makes a lot of sense, the guy makes a lot of sense, and they got a good show. So, what's your take on that?
Well, I thought, it was like high school and special ed room got out early, so. And then to listen to Jerry the Fairy cry and cry. Oh, for 7 years, they've been butt hurting me. I mean, Andy, do me a favor. Take this motherfucker down to Angela City. Get him a Ladyboy to bust his ass fucking down, and maybe he'll be in a better fucking mood the next morning.
Jesus.
Hey, well, welcome to the Dark Show, Andy, because I just say anything. I don't give two flying fucks, and as long as you're honest with me, that's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Yeah, with
And,
me, I don't really have much against them. I thought like they do make sense. But there's certain
well,
videos and certain people tell me that they're
how do they
e-begging.
make sense?
Some things that they say it does make sense, but that's what a lot of people in their videos while it's edited it does make sense. But there's things that I didn't like. For example, there's the e-begging accusations because one time they got a package from America and they got a balikbayan box, and that's where they started showing off. And then all of a sudden, supposedly what the subscribers are saying is that now they are asking for travel this money or hints for certain kind of funds here and there to make more videos. So that's one
Ah,
thing I didn't like. Yeah.
well, dude, wait. When my channel comes back, wait till you see the fucking e-begging I'm gonna do with the fucking super chat. You're just gonna fucking throw up, okay? And you're gonna see fucking same shirt travels have an epileptic fit.
I would like to ask you guys in the chat, is it true? And since we threw being diplomatic overboard a couple of minutes ago, especially when Andy started to call her a fat bitch, which
Oh,
is not a nice thing.
hey.
Andy, that's
It's not a nice
terrible,
thing to
man. What are
say.
you doing things like that
It
for?
just came
But
out.
look,
It wasn't. It wasn't
my
meant.
question, gentlemen, my question is, are they e-beggars? Because that's what, look, again, this is just a commentary. That's what people tell me. Our boys tell me
That's what
these
they
are
tell me.
e-beggars. Check them out. These are e-beggars. Is it true? Is it not true? Are they e-beggars? In
Well,
the chat, press 1
Oh,
if you believe these people are
Maximus.
e-beggars, or press 2 if you think they're not e-beggers. They're all right. 1 e-beggars, 2 they're all right. They're not e-beggars. The term e-beggar would be too harsh for these people. But Popeye, you still haven't answered the question. What was your impression of the
Whoa.
couple, Heidi and George? Heidi and George. Bobsy calls the guy George the milkfish man. and Andy calls her the fat bitch.
Well, my impression is that if I was to meet her, I would bring a bag of flour, throw it at her, and then pick a wet spot. Right? Because big girls are a lot of fun. The other dude, he's just like what I call a waste of fucking space. You know what I mean? He's he's fucking sucking up too much oxygen. He needs to fucking go away.
There's not a lot of oxygen that can go into that small body.
True, but still, it's too much for me, man. I
Do
mean,
you remember? Do you remember what I told you in the email yesterday about this?
no, I
About the
don't.
blue, about the blue and purple.
No, no, I don't.
You do. I can hear it in your voice. Popeye remembers, but let's not get into that. I see Don C is in the house. Welcome to the show, Don C. I saw that most people pressed a one. Big Kev, hello, Big Kev. Great show, by the way. Shout out to Big Kev. I really enjoyed the live stream of last week. Popeye, not so much, but we tackled that issue yesterday on this show here. I do not see a two in there. Gentlemen, I said one stands for e-beggar, okay? I only see ones. I would like to ask, is there anyone out there who thinks no Philippines antiques, these guys are okay? They are not e-beggars. There's no problem if people send them stuff or they get super chat or if their
Hmm.
channel is monetized and stuff like that. Is there anyone out there? Come on, it's like nearly 90 people listening to this right now. Is there anyone out there who would choose to press a two?
Yeah. Maximus
You,
said
you
that
know,
she was trying to get a
I have
wheelchair.
to, I
She
have
got a
to tell you,
wheelchair.
I have to tell you, Aloe. You know, I don't care if you come straight out and e-beg, but then
Free bird. Yeah.
but if you come out and you say, I'm going to feed the kids, and you're actually feeding yourself, then I get pissed. If you pull a Philly in the Philippines and you say, oh, a Jergens moment, and you're making money off it, then I get pissed. Okay? But you're a straight up e beggar and you say, please give me money because I suck at life. I say go for it.
I mean, if it's being truthful, yeah, but that one time, like Maximus said, the wheelchair, and I do remember that.
Are they well liked in this community, ladies and gentlemen? Because I can only rely on what you guys tell me on the panel and off the panel, and I see comments such as Tom Kinsey's comment. Heidi is the American 500 pounds talking gorilla, while George is merely a ventriloquist. It's ventriloquist. You know those people who can talk without moving their mouth. Ventriloquist. Can you fucking
Oh, a
say that word?
ventriloquist.
Fucking tongue twist. Ventriloquist. Maybe I should use that word before I come on the fucking live stream and say it 10 times in a row. Ventriloquist. Ventriloquist. Can you say it?
No.
No? You don't even try? How about you, Andy?
Ventriculist? I don't know. Ventriculist?
Ventriloquist. Okay, wow, well, that's a
Yeah.
tongue twister
But
there.
Andy, have you ever fucked a fat girl, man?
Yeah, I have. Not
And
that big though, but I have.
did you
Not that
find
big.
it did you find it pleasurable?
Not really. No.
Well, when I was in my 30s, we used to go chubby chasing, and we would set up a pool. We'd put like 40, $50 in each, and whoever come back with the biggest panties, okay, won the pool money. I do. I come back. I come back with Bottom and Bailey's fucking tent for fucking panties. Okay, and these motherfuckers had skid marks in them, and I still did her. Okay, and
Oh
I
shit.
won $480, man. All right, that was a good night's work. And dude, it was. I mean, them big girls are so fat, soft, supple, and dude, you don't even have to find their pussy. I mean, there's so many cracks that are so moist and hot and warm. It-
You need to
It's
be careful. You need to be careful here, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
before we
it's like a
Fre-
smorgasbord, man.
yeah. Watch Haiti email him like, "Oh, you're looking for the big girls."
All right, it's like a
Maximus.
smorgasbord, man. And and if you miss the pussy, you don't have to worry about getting her pregnant, man. Okay, it's a win-win, Andy. It's a win-win. If I come out to Angeles, will you play that game with me and a few other guys? We'll go chubby chasing,
Oh no.
and the one who comes back with the biggest panties and cardinal knowledge of a girl that's at least 250 pounds or above
I
wins the
haven't
pool money.
seen any.
Huh? Could
I
you
haven't
play a
seen
game
any.
like that, Andy?
Nope. I haven't seen any that are like 250 pounds or like that.
Oh, dude, you can find them, man. You can find them. I'm telling you.
Maximus says she was crying over other bloggers getting more views and her own viewers going over to
Hmm.
the other channels because they showcase girls and walking street in their
Well,
videos.
maybe
She
if
was
she
so
showed a
angry at that.
Yeah, maybe she
well,
needs
if
to show
she
some
showed a
spin.
little side titty, she might get some more views.
Yeah, exactly, right? Put her up in a swimsuit.
Ain't nothing like a little side boob to get the old juices flowing. Now, come
Yeah,
on,
sex
man.
I,
sells.
I, I have a feeling that we might hear back from these guys over on Philippine Antiques. Do you think they are going to come after us now, or what do you think will happen?
Nah, not really. They're actually a nice couple. Like I met them in person, but I still,
Did
based
you
on just
get excited when you saw her?
no, I was shocked. I was shocked.
You were shocked?
Yeah, I was
Was your
shocked.
penis shocked? Did your penis get hard when you were looking at her?
No, I think it shriveled down like a raisin. It just it
Are
got
you
soft.
sure? I don't know. I think you like the big girls, Andy. I tell you the truth.
No, that's way too big for me. Uh, I wouldn't. I don't. I'm not into it.
I mean,
I just received an email, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to announce the content of that email. I believe it is okay to do so. I'm taking a risk, but I think it is okay to do so. And this is from Expat Trash of the Philippines.
I got one more question for you, Andy, and I think Aloe's going
hang,
to
hang on a second. Let me read. It's a one-liner.
Oh,
Brian
okay.
struck. Brian struck my channel again.
Oh my
So
God.
Oh,
Brian, Mr. Freedom of Speech, has done it again. He tries very hard to take down ETP. Okay. He's trying very hard to take down ETP after he declared that he is Mr. Freedom of Speech. He would never put a copyright strike on other people's channel because he is not that kind of guy. And number two, after on the other live stream, on his live stream actually, of last Sunday, he declared, after declaring, I'm done with this. I will not do anything anymore. That's it. I just leave it at that. I'll move on. Better things to do. And here we
Oh,
go again, another strike on ETP's channel. And I ask myself, what is he trying to accomplish? What is he so afraid of when it comes to ETP? Because ETP is a micro channel. ETP is a channel that has a different opinion. Why
ETP is
is
gonna
it
come
that
back anyway.
people are so sensitive about channels such as ETP? That would be the next question. But you had another question. Let's tackle that question first, Popeyes, and then I would like to ask the two of you what you think about the latest development here about freedom
okay.
of speech dude doing another copyright strike.
My question to Andy Omar is very simple. On a scale of 1 to 10,
Hmm.
rate the Ladyboy that you know, dipshit travel was sucking face with in the bar.
Ladyboy. Jarrett?
You know, dipshit travel.
Jarrett or Dip? Is that a
Yeah,
different guy?
Jared.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jared.
okay.
Rate the lady
I
boy on a scale of 1 to 10 that he was sucking face with in the bar. I'm
I
sure
don't
you've
know.
seen the video.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know.
Come on,
I never.
give me a number, man. Be a man about it, man.
Is
One
10
to
the highest? Is 10
10
the
being
highest, right?
10 being the highest, I say zero.
zero,
Yeah,
zero. Okay, so you say zero. Did she look more like a man or more like a woman?
more like a man.
Ah, like a man. Okay, all right, all right. Carry on now.
My question again, latest developments. I got an email, ETP, expat trash in the Philippines says Brian did it again. There is a second strike now. And look, this is a double edged sword right now because the other camp might look at this and say, hey, we are so close. We just need a third strike and ETP goes down again. But I think I want to make it a point and get the point across here. Mr. Freedom of Speech is losing his credibility actually when he proclaims that A, he's not afraid of ETP. He doesn't care about these micro channels. He is the big dude. He is the guy with 100,000 plus subs, and he mentioned also that the guy with 5,000 subs will always win against somebody who has only 50 subs. The support of 5,000 always is equal to victory, and having the support of 50 people is equal to being defeated all the time. That's what he is basically saying. And he's throwing around his weight, being the big guy in the community. What do you think about that? Because look, this is the guy who said, hey, I don't care. It doesn't get under my skin. Why are you doing live streams about it? Why do you say everybody has a voice on your channel? Why do you say that you would not put copyright strikes on these other channels? Why do you care so much? Are you afraid of something? Is it that people will change their mind about you? Because look, I know that he is not going to change anything. That's for sure. Because he truly believes that what he does is the right thing to do. And he pays his bills, ladies and gentlemen. But when you proclaim that you are all for freedom of speech and everybody has the right to come on your panel and air their opinion, why is it that you were asking me to send you the questions before you would consider coming on my little unimportant micro channel, and you didn't really turn it down right away? You could just have said, no, I will not do that. It's beneath me to go to these smaller channels. Then I ask you, why did you come to us back then when we were doing RRR regarding the issue with Seth Styles' divorce? Why did you come to me when you had an issue with Jasper in the Philippines? Because it seems to me that despite the fact that you are Mr. Superstar on YouTube, your guys aren't able to find out anything about these other people that you want to be, let's put it this way, bashed and silenced. And actually, that's the reason why you also promoted ETP. Ladies and gentlemen, that's something that most of you guys do not know about. Brian was all in. Brian
Oh yeah.
wanted to promote ETP up until the moment ETP put out a vlog about him too. And there's a little bit of a background story here, since we are all about transparency. The guys around ETP were waiting for, let's put it this way, a green light to go ahead with the Philly content. And they got that green light. And I'm not going into details here, trying to find the right words. And Philly knew about this. And he knew that I had something to do with that. And after that, he took down one of his most successful live streams. I checked it again yesterday. The live stream I did with Philly about Jasper in the Philippines was quite popular. And numbers often do not lie. And for him, obviously, it's all about numbers and the views because he told me, I just do what my subs want me to do. So he has no problems in taking the footage of women who are not even aware that they are on YouTube because of his content. But he is the guy who calls other thieves when it's just fair use on a social media platform. Calling somebody a thief, by the way, is a criminal offense in the Philippines, true or not. It is intended to destroy the content creator's reputation. Calling him a thief probably 100,000 times. Taking somebody's content to make a point is really what people do here on social media. That's what Popeye does all the time in his Popeye shorts. It's fair use. It's not a big deal. They wanted to make a point. ETP didn't steal anything. They used the content of Philly's channel to break it down to a wider public. Look, this is what's going on. Because I didn't know regular guy before. And I don't have the fucking time to scroll through his channel to find out that he is a fucking scumbag. I watched ETP, I saw it, and I knew there is nothing more convincing than taking the content of these vloggers and present it to a wider public because then they know, okay, this is for real. And nothing, ladies and gentlemen, has been taken out of context because it's their content. They never talk about the content and what it actually shows. They talk about stealing other people's content. And look, I understand that Philippine Antiques is basically now kissing Brian's ass because they made up, because that's what Brian does. He invites people over to a restaurant and talks to them face to face. That's how he makes sure that there is never a real opposition on here regarding the content of his channel. That's what he does.
How many meals did he buy Heidi?
He bought her the fucking restaurant. And that's what he does. Your take, gentlemen.
Ooh, you know, call somebody a liar, that's pretty fucking bold, number one.
Thief. Thief. It implies the crime
Well, yeah, thief,
of
liar.
stealing.
And he really, I think he's pushing the envelope here because he wants to know who ETP is. And he wants that information badly, but he's not going to get it. Where'd that boy Andy go, man?
I do not know, but carry on, please.
Oh, shit, I had more Ladyboy questions, for Christ's sake. Anyway, he wants, you know, and dude, when you come out and call somebody a thief over and over and over, that's fucking bad, right? That's not fucking good. And I'm kind of hoping that ETP is actually Filipino or Filipina. Really kind of hoping that. You know, and on top of it, I don't really care who ETP is. All I know is I like what he does. Now, a lot of people are saying that you're ETP, Aloe. And dude, I was paying attention to his vlog when he's sitting there in the mask and the black shroud, and he raised his left arm,
Yeah, with the watch, I saw that.
and I saw the watch band, but I couldn't see the watch. And the watch band looked just like yours, Aloe, and I think that's what they're going on,
You're
man.
you're so fucking full of shit right now. Look, let's do this. Let's dissect it, okay? Because I heard on Philly's channel that people said it must be Aloe the Winter, pointing at Aloe the Winter. It must be him. Why? Because some of ETP's vlogs have my voice in it. It was all Aloe the Winter. Now I ask you, if it's always me on there, and if I'm trying hard to hide if it was me behind the channel, why would I use my own fucking footage in that vlog about Brian, for instance? Because it was like 80% my voice, because I was talking about the Vision Mission, and they also took sound bites from you, Popeye. If I would try to hide, if I was ETP, okay, if I was the guy behind it, and if I would try to hide that, why would I use my fucking sound bites? And that shows that it is not
No
me.
idea. I mean, that makes no sense
It is
at all.
absolutely not me. But this is the funny thing. You remember the Alan Fry issue? The more I try to explain to Frank and his followers that it is not me, and that I was the one who emailed Eric and Eric emailed him, because it's really the email that I sent Eric, and he read it out loud because he felt like, now we found out who Aloe the Winter is. Up until this very day, Frank does not go live and admits, yes, he was pranked big time. It was hilarious. Everybody knows it. And it's exactly the same. The more I say it's not me, the more people will say, of course he's going to say that, because it's him. And when I say it is me, like admitting, yes, it is me, you guys figured it out, then they will say, he just says that because he wants us to believe he can mislead us. But him saying it's him is a way to say it's not him. Ho, 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 ho. That's the crazy part. So that's why I don't talk about things like that, because I really do not care. I think it's flattering that people think it is me, because I think they are doing an excellent job, and I have been very transparent about that as long as they need support from the wider community, I will be one of the voices who will support them, because I think it's a noble, good cause, and I think it's about fucking time that people make this known, that there are people out there, vloggers out there, who exploit or profit from the exploitation of women and children, because these girls in Angeles, in these bars, they are there because they don't have money. They come from broken homes. They have been lured into the flash trade. And if you do not see that, then you might be part of the problem. I'm not on here to turn or to make the world a better place. I think that's just a conclusion that every decent human being would come to, that this is shit, okay? This is morally wrong, and I believe also in many cases legally wrong. And if you want to distract from this because YouTube looks at it as a copyright strike, let's be real here. This is not a case of thievery or something like that. It's a fucking copyright strike. And you can get like what? 3 copyright strikes before your channel goes down. So this is not a criminal act or whatsoever. It is just the guidelines within YouTube, and that's just that. But calling somebody, and since these guys always talk about the law and all that, since these guys or that guy called the content creator of ETP a thief more than once, and actually also said that if you want to associate with him, then that's on you. Then I must say you are breaking Philippine law, and you don't need to be a lawyer or expert on that, because you can read up on it. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Even if one would have committed murder, and you go online and say that person, Mr. Gomez, living in Makati, working at this and this place, is a convicted murderer, that's damage to the reputation of that person. In the US, in the Western countries, including in Switzerland, truth protects you from legal consequences because the statement itself is true. In the Philippines, that's not, and that's very weird. That's kind of unique. It's not the case. So if you are Popeye, if you are a fucking drug pusher, even if you were convicted for drug related felonies, I cannot come on here and say Popeye is a drug pusher because then I will open myself up to legal issues, legal problems, because then you could say, Alo de Winter called me a drug pusher. He intended to destroy my reputation. And that's why he
Yeah,
spoke about it on the
it's all
internet.
about
And
destroying
that is,
the
and that
reputation.
is, and that
Doesn't
is,
matter
yeah, and that's
if
the
it's
law.
true
And
or
that's the law.
false.
Yeah, and that's the law. You cannot just, you cannot have it both ways. You cannot come on here and say, look, I'm all high and mighty and I'm the moral instance, the moral authority rather, and I follow the law and this person has been found guilty of, oh my God, a copyright strike. What a criminal. What a criminal. You know what? I tell you something. I rather stick to the guys who commit the copyright strike than the guys who are taking advantage of the women and children in the Philippines, showing their image on your content without their knowledge because they do not know that they are on there. And question to Brian, what would you do if somebody with a sexualized content YouTube channel would take footage of your daughter? Since you are extremely sensitive about your family, and it seems only about your family, what would you do if somebody would zoom in on your daughter when you go out there to Clark on something like that and say, hey, she's a hottie, zooms in on her, she's probably underage? What would you then say? What would you do?
Oh,
Because
he'd have a conviction.
that's exactly what he is doing on there. And you know what? If you wanna ask the question, do you wanna associate with the guy who has gotten copyright strikes? Oh, how morally wrong is that? What a crime. Yeah, then I will associate openly with a guy like that rather than with a guy who lets his wife dance in front of a camera and do that no bra challenge or whatever it's called. And even if she says it's okay, don't be so prude, Aloe. Yeah, well, I would never, ever even think of something like that. And if I would see it, I would jump in and say, no, 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 because it's wrong on so many fucking levels. And that you do not see that is really something that I do not understand. So, yes, I will associate it with a guy who has a copyright strike or two. Big deal. Because he has not been found guilty of any crime. And the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, nobody has found Philly guilty of any crime is because, for the simple fact that nobody has put forward a case. None of these girls in fields who are on the videos would come forward and say, I'm on that blog, I want it to be taken down. And as far as the thief comment goes, if ETP were an expat living in the Philippines, he could easily go to the authorities and say, I'm the content creator of Expat Trash in the Philippines. This is a man who has called me several times thief and is clearly referring to me and my channel. I'm the content creator of this channel, and he called me thief. And I think he might just have a case there. Who knows? Who knows?
But I tell you, when they say, well, you're Alan Fry, and then they say, no, you're ETP, and I kind of laugh because what they remind me of is like a spoiled 8-year-old child that's sitting in a chair, and you give this spoiled 8-year-old child a piece of chocolate cake, and he kind of looks and he scoffs and he says, I don't want it. So then you go to take the chocolate cake away, and the kid says, leave it there, but won't fucking eat it. Right? That's what they remind me of. And they can't make their mind up on what is what in this world. And I am really disgusted now with the bullshit that Philly and the Philippines is doing. I thought he was a much better person than that. I really did. And
So did
dude,
I.
I hope he gets his comeuppance. I hope someday he's walking down, he's got his daughter with him, and some asshole puts a cam on his daughter. Then then he will only truly know how wrong he is. Okay?
And you know what's the strange thing? He was promoting ETP, thought it's a good channel. You know why? Because they went after Jasper in the Philippines. He was
Yeah,
all in. He told me,
yeah,
and I have to prove of that. I will link their channel. I was all in. Thought it's a great channel. Why? Because they went after Jasper in the Philippines. Look, Philly looks at this as like a machine to go after his competition because
yeah.
Jasper probably said something against Philly and he didn't like it. So he lets others do the dirty work. And that's why he came to me and said, "Can you find out who this guy is?" And boy, we did. Took us 10 minutes. We ran a background check. It's somebody who is in the UK. You know who you are. Great guy. Have great conversations with him. I had a conversation yesterday about this same topic, and maybe we will do a podcast. He's a very opinionated guy, and he said, um, and he asked me the question: Is Philly? Alo, answer the question. Is Philly promoting sex tourism in the Philippines? And you know what I said? I said no. I don't think Philly is really promoting it. He just knows it makes him it gives him the views. The chicks on Fields Avenue zooming in on them, that gets him the views. It's just right in front of his fucking doorstep. You don't need to be a smart, intelligent creator and look for new content. It's just right there in front of you. You throw in a family friendly vlog every now and then you go back to Fields Avenue walking street content because that's what people want on his channel. And he gives that to them. And it's a very easy way to make money.
So you know what I think should be done? What
And last
I
but not least, hang on a second. Last but not least, I still answer the question. No, he is not promoting sex tourism because I think Philly is not that kind of a guy. Even after all of this, I think he's not that kind of a guy. Because if he were, he probably would be hanging out there with all these bar girls, but the guy is married. Okay? I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm not going to insinuate that he is out there because I still think, just my gut feeling tells me, he's not that kind of a guy, despite the whole fucking controversy on here. Maybe you can call me naive, you can call me blind, whatever. Maybe I'm biased, maybe whatever. But the thing is, he's not that kind of a guy. And then the Irish Mango, I call him Irish Mango, my friend over in the UK, and I know you will be listening to this later, told me, Alo, I have a question. If a vlogger would walk up and down a beach and tell them, look, I'm here at this beach, isn't that promoting the beach? Isn't that good for tourism? And then I had to answer him, yeah, I get your point, because the answer is yes. But does it apply to Brian's content? Is he actively promoting sex tourism? Where do you draw the line between showing the reality of Fields Avenue and promoting it? Very interesting topic. I look forward to have him on the panel once. We are not going to do this live because of the time difference, Europe and Philippines. We already did, I think, around 3 podcasts, and we will be talking about topics such as the one that I just mentioned. But you wanted to say something, Popeye, please.
Yeah, I think what should be done is like in my day when we went out on Magsaysay side, there's bars up and down. When we went up to Subic City, there's the low rent, the dive bars. We're in Barrio Barreto. They're medium bars, okay? And we would never bring a camera, never. And I feel all the bar owners on Fields Avenue should get together and say no cams. You cannot come in walking the street with no cams. Cause dude, if I want to go partying, I at least want some expectation of privacy. Okay? You you go out to have fun with your bros. You don't want to be exploited. And I see all these vloggers flocking to Soy Six, Soy Cowboy, uh, Fields Avenue, Barrio Barreto, and they're camming the nightlife. I was watching this one guy. He's been vlogging in Subic City since Jesus Christ was born. They call him
Since the,
they
since the
call
Spanish
him,
sailed since the Spanish sailed to the port.
yeah, they call him Subic Bay Johnny, right? And so he's
Super
walking down
great job.
Barrio, and he's fucking he's fucking camming all the bars. And this is this bar, this is that bar, blah 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 blah. So he starts trying to go into the fucking bars, and they got the guy in the blue uniform and the fucking sawed-off shotgun, like, and looked at him and said, "No, it's not going to happen. You're not coming in here with a fucking cam, all right?" And the only time photographs were ever taken in my era is, like, I remember one time I was up there in the Woodstock bar. It was my birthday. All the girls come around me, they give me a hug, and the guy for 50 pesos took a picture, and then at the end of the night, he gave you the picture. So you could take it home and put it in your fucking happy book.
Fucking Super 8 camera or something like that. You know, the
Yeah.
one with the ash, the stuff that they would burn or something.
Yeah. Right? And, and don't, years later, don't let your fucking kids see it, for God's sake, you know?
But let me ask you, did you catch the first part of the show about the American vlogger who is now seeking legal action because he got into a physical
Yes,
altercation with the
I
bar
did.
owner in Angeles and the member apparently of
I did.
tourist police in
I have to
Angeles
say,
City?
he got everything he fucking deserved. Okay? He got everything he deserved. Right? No, we didn't have Polaroids. We actually had 35 millimeter cameras. I had a beautiful Canon AE1 programmable, and I still have it, and I still use it. Right? And I got three different lenses: wide angle, 35 millimeter lens. I got the fucking zoom lens, so I can zoom in on the acne on your face, Maximus. Okay, all that kind of shit. Right.
Next week, I
Polaroids were
believe.
70s.
Next week, I believe I will be going to Subic Bay, and I will probably vlog it about the Freeport itself, what it is today, and
Hmm.
I will visit a few places when I'm going to Nueva Ecija. I will come out with maybe 2 or 3 blogs about the Freeport, and I will put it up here on my channel. Probably next week, I will not really do many live streams, but I still look forward to have Nico, you, and a few others. I believe also Michael Fazio will be coming on the show because he got something to tell or to say to our good Frank over on Bantayan. And I would also like to address a few issues regarding the Frank situation because Frank has challenged me and told me several times that he would basically get physical with me if I would tell him face to face that his woman should shut the fuck up and he fucking hates it. But he has a fucking obsession for Fazio and I do not know why. But I asked Fazio, how do you do it? What's behind the magic? What's behind the Faz magic? Is it in the color? Is it in
I
what you
think
eat?
what really
How
upset
can you
him,
do that?
Mallow.
He's
You know
very
what
angry.
really, upset him when Fazio did the Orange Man vlogs and did his hair orange and shit. That was just out of this fucking world, man. But when you went to Vietnam and you were on the shooting range,
Yeah.
I, I really liked that vlog. So if you're gonna be up there in Subic Bay and going on the Freeport, go out to the Naval Magazine. which is just over the hill from QB Point. They have a
Mhm.
shooting range where you could go shooting.
I will check it out. Maybe not on my next trip, but I will definitely check it out because it's a fucking rainy season. I mean, it's raining on and off all over the
It
fucking
should be
central
ended
Luzon
now,
area.
right?
But I
I
will
mean,
wait until the sun comes back, and then I will make sure I head out there and go
yeah.
to the shooting range. We have Andy Omar back on the panel. Let me check if we are at the
Yep.
2 hours mark yet. No, not yet. I would like to open up the last round here
All
before
right.
we wrap this one up. Last comments and thoughts about ETP Phillies copyright strike. I think I lost Andy there just before I asked Popeye here the same question. Maybe we can do that before we wrap this one here up. Andy, ETP just emailed me and told me that Brian put a second copyright strike on his channel. What's your take on that?
Well, yeah, that's kind of sad. I don't know. Like, he shouldn't have done that. It looked like it was. The thing is that it's mainly EPT's fault. He didn't change the video, made it slower. He didn't make it fuzzier. He. I guess he just used straight out content from Philly. So that's how the YouTube thing, they catched it and they caught him with the copyright strike. Sadly enough, I mean, next time he can just change the resolution of the video, maybe do a mirror, the mirror mode where you do
Mm-hmm,
it
mm-hmm.
the opposite side. Yeah, he could do that and no copyright strikes. I never received a copyright strike, so yeah.
There's a way around it. And I think
Mhm.
it's almost always about algorithms. I think there's nobody in YouTube or at YouTube actually really looking at this stuff because when you email them, you always get the same fucking answers. It's always the same answer. It's always the same process. And I think it's not really a person in most cases, unless, like in Popeye's case, when he appeals something, I think that's the only time somebody actually looks into it, goes into the system, pulls up the whole, the files and whatever has happened, and sees why somebody got a copyright strike for whatever reason, and then goes through the vlogs and decides, is it a thumbs up or is it a thumbs down? Um, since people always comment on this and they always ask these questions, Andy, people still bring up that fucking topic with Tim K. And I saw that you use a pig face basically,
Mhm.
and it says Tim K under it. What do you want to address that situation for a second? Because everybody keeps fucking you with with this issue.
You
What's
know
up
what?
with that?
I guess it's one guy trying to fuck with me here. But you know what? After that, he never mentioned me at all, right? He never mentioned me. He never talked shit again. He was just quiet the whole fucking time. So, who is the bigger bitch? I mean, really? He's just quiet. Supposedly, this guy owned me, in front of the BA, in a fucking federal building. Supposedly, he owned me there. Okay, so if he did, why is he so quiet about it? Why doesn't he really call me out and say, "Hey, Andy Omar, now I know I can beat you. You're such a little man. I can fuck you up." If he can fuck me up so much, I mean, it would be so easy just for him to call me out, right? Yes or no? Hmm.
Thank you very much for that
But
statement. Any,
other
please
than
go
that,
ahead. Yeah.
he's still a bitch, and I'll fuck with his life, indirectly as possible off YouTube.
So
That's
there's
all.
no chance of you two kissing and making up?
Oh, never.
Okay.
Maybe
That's what I
after
like about Andy Omar, ladies and gentlemen.
maybe after I piss in his grave, we can make up. But that's it.
Okay.
or
Cool
or
beans.
or piss or piss in his mouth.
No.
Uh,
Andy Omar, last
hmm
thoughts and comments about this show here.
I think Maximus is Jordan Melby.
The melted face. No, Maximus is Phil M. Raymond.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It does sound like the melted face guy. I mean, the way he's typing. Unless there's another Maximus.
no, is Raymond. He was
Oh, okay.
AKA the Rain Man, and a good friend
Oh,
of
the guy who
our.
ran away from the Mexican Jew?
Yeah,
Like
that guy. No,
he went to his
the
house?
brother, his brother.
Oh, okay.
No, Mexican Jew went to Rain Man's parents' house. I believe the mother and Jerry and Rain Man's brother then, tried to get even with MJ in Duma,
Mhm.
basically orchestrating the physical attack on
Oh.
MJ. That Raymond.
Oh, okay.
Drive by Rain Man. That guy.
Straight by Raymond. That's hilarious.
Any last comments and thoughts, Andy?
No, that's it really. I ain't got no much to say other than yeah, freedom of speech should be freedom of speech. Yeah, you can't have like an ego and an American flag on your thing on the background and then promote freedom of speech and then be like some kind of liberal and try to copyright
Promote
strike
North
somebody.
promote North Korean promote North Korean style censorship on YouTube, wearing an American T-shirt and having a U.S. flag and the Philippines flag in the background, and in the same time promoting North Korean style censorship on YouTube. Shame on you, Brian. I give the podium, the mic to Popeye One. Last thoughts, last comments.
My last thought in common is this live stream was brought to you by San Miguel Beer, Beer None Beer, the official beer of Dipshit Travel. San Miguel Beer, Beer None Beer.
I see we have 69 people watching right now, and that is a
That's a
very
good
nice
number for
number.
you,
It's a
Alo.
very good. It's a very good number to end the show. Andy Omar, thank you very much for coming on the show and giving us the details about that case. We will follow it. We will uh, try to give you more info, and it's a
Mm.
developing story. We will give you that info, and I hope you get on the panel again once we know more about the case. And Popeye, I hope to see you on the Friday show, and everybody else in the live chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. Give this live stream a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if we made you smile. If we put a smile on your face, that's what Big Kev says in his page. If I put a smile, or if I manage to put a smile on your face, please give me $1 or two or something like that, or give me some super chat. Well, we can't do that over here, but I would appreciate it if you could give us a thumbs up. And if we hurt your feelings, if we made you feel upset, I would be glad if you could give us a thumbs down, so I know that we are doing our job on here on the Out of the Winter live stream. Thank you very much, guys. I catch you on the Friday show. And my wife just brought me a juice from Starbucks. It is. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
All right.